Well, I think we're live. Ken Comerford with Point Yacht Sales, reporting out of Bert Javen's yard. We decided to do a little virtual show because the boat shows couldn't happen, so we wanted to bring some exciting news to you. I've got John Stefancik from Chesapeake Bay. I couldn't think of a better person to have with us to talk about tips of the bay, tips of boating, than John, because John does a lot of great stories and does a lot of boating out on the bay and has a pretty great action-packed presentation for you guys for some boating tips. So thanks for joining us, John.
Thanks, Ken. I appreciate that. It's funny because I see you on the bay more than anybody else. So you could have almost have given this.
we try to get out there. You know, the funny thing is, you know, right now in the boat business, I think a lot of us are all saying, you know, the boat business has been good, but you know, I like to think of, you bought a boat, so now what?
Yeah, right.
So, you know, we've really got to make sure that the people that come into boating today are really engaged, and they're thinking about what they can do to keep themselves busy out on the water, being together with friends and family. But I think what we can do is we can probably give them some best practices, some basic things, and maybe some tips on where to go. We talked a little bit earlier about, you know, safety and maintenance and places to go in the bay. So we've got a lot to talk about. I guess really, I don't know where we kind of get started, but ultimately the goal is, once you buy a boat, let's talk about all the things you need to do to get out there and have some fun.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's been quite a summer because of sales have happened so quickly. I've got a lot of friends who have bought boats or are looking for boats now. I'm going on out this weekend to look at some, and a lot of people come to me and they say, well, what should I know? I'm like, well, where do you want to start?
Yeah, a lot of things to talk about.
I could tell you, right. I could tell you where to go. I could tell you what your mindset should be going into it. And it doesn't really matter whether you're whether you're an old salt, as my mom used to call old sailors, or someone who's a brand new to it. There's a couple of things that I tell everybody if they want to have a great experience owning a boat, going out on boats. And I always start with something that I find a lot of fun. Most people find it boring, but it is pay attention to taking care of your boat.
That's a good point. You know, I can tell you a lot of times we get boats back after 2 or 3 months of boat use and we went, whoa, what just happened? So yeah, taking care of cleaning your boat, right? Just coming back from a trip and taking a scrub brush out and cleaning it, or hiring somebody to clean your boat, check your oil.
Yep.
Kind of some basic maintenance things that are good things to do.
And if you're going to buy a new, if you found a boat that you love and you can buy a new boat, you're going to get probably an extended period of time without any maintenance on it, as long as you're taking care of it, right?
Well, John, be careful about that. Buying I don't want to say that, but buying a new boat is certainly going to give a customer the chance to kind of get involved with our family. I call our family the whole North Point team. So there's a sales side of our business there, as well as service side, and we like to bring those sales and service together. Many times we have customers that come to us with very little experience, and through the kind of handoff of a boat, we want to make sure that people feel really comfortable with how their boat performs, what they can expect out on the water. And we spend hours sometimes going through just boat operation. We'll actually like to think of our company as being a little bit more progressive and being boaters and being able to share common experiences with our clients. But we have one thing that we really love. We have a very informal program called the Zero to Hero program. And that Zero to Hero program will take somebody from very novice boater through a very seasoned, experienced boater. And I can tell you, we've probably had a number of customers that we can look at today, and they're going to New England. And when they came to us 4 or 5 years ago, they were brand new boaters.
Yeah. Well, I spend a lot of time on the water in different capacities. I have a media company, right? So I'm out I was on the DC waterfront all day today, but I'm also out I race. I take care of other people's boats. I have a center console, which is, I can't even explain how important it is to myself and my family because we use it all the time. And I see the happiest people are ones who have had the pleasure or the benefit of being taught how things work on their boat and being taught how to use it properly, and also those who take care of it.
Right.
Taking care of it is important because you usually end up spending as far as sheer amount of time taking care of your boat as you do having fun on it. But that doesn't mean you have to do all the work. It just means you have to make sure that you're spending time or doing due diligence to make sure things are taken care of.
Well, it's all part of that boating lifestyle, right? And we were kind of talking about how much fun it is. There is a little bit of work. But one of the things that you guys do, I think, so well at Chesapeake Bay Magazine is you talk about kind of not just a type of boater, a power sail, but you talk to a really kind of a waterfront homeowner, people that appreciate going to certain destinations. And what I really love is that you blend boat sales and lifestyle for boaters. That could be power or sail. And I think that's something that really excites me as an owner because it's exactly what our business is all about. But you do talk so many times about where people can go. What are some of your favorite places to go on the bay, and what are some things that might get some people excited? Because it's really easy to say, hey, today we're going to go down to Eagle Alley and we're going to go check that out. And I know for a fact I like to go down Eagle Alley because I like to put the boat in front of a lot of people. Mm-hmm. But my wife probably gets a little bored of that, saying, hey, where else can we go? So John, you write about all these places to go. What are some of your favorite places?
Well, first of all, if you're going to go to Eagle Alley, if you're new, don't pick Saturday of Memorial Day weekend as your first time down Eagle Alley.
Oh, come on.
It's too crowded. Don't pick that day. Pick Tuesday of that week and you'll be fine. But yes, Eagle Alley is a must-do, particularly for newer boaters. Well, in the middle of...
Where do you like to go outside of the crowded Annapolis Harbor?
Well, I'll tell you, one of the really great places you can go to, even if let's say you plan to go to Annapolis and it's really crowded, and you just want to anchor and hang out. Whitehall Bay is a little used destination for a lot of people. It's protected on 3 sides. You can get a nice southerly breeze through there on the bay. It's right outside of Annapolis, 1.5 miles away. It's close to even tighter anchorages like Whitehall Creek. It's got a restaurant that you can pull right up to in Cantlers.
Have some good crabs.
Right? And it's a terrific place to spend the day. And here's another little tip for you. You can see the fireworks shooting off in Annapolis clearly as if you were in the mouth of the Severn River, because the land is so low across the peninsula. So that's a great place to go that's not as crowded, not nearly as crowded, to see the 4th of July fireworks, anchor in Whitehall Bay, or just use it as a daytime destination.
One of the things about our business, which I've been kind of excited to promote the Southern Bay, having the Southern Bay location at the York River Yacht Haven, the Southern Bay as well has so many great places to get out to. And what I find with the Southern Bay many times is you can find a sandy beach pretty easily because, there's a lot of white sand along the bay, and there's places to go pull your boat up and enjoy. Is there anything down the Southern Bay that really sticks out in your mind?
See, my favorite parts of the Southern Bay are not the places that are, I'm glad you brought that up. I don't have as much experience with that because I spend a lot of time in York River and around the corner in Hampton.
Right.
Hampton to me, if you live north of, say, the Potomac River, you need to spend some time in Hampton Roads, not just moving up and down the ICW, but go down there as its own destination. There is so much to see and do. There's a terrific museum. There's great places to go out to eat. If you're a yacht club person and you can get reciprocity at Hampton Yacht Club, they're very nice there. I pulled right up at the bar 2 times. They're great, and there's a lot to see down in the Hampton Roads area and the Hampton, Virginia area. That's my favorite part of the Southern Bay by far.
You know, you bring up something that's kind of fun to talk about. We have a lot of heritage on the Chesapeake Bay, and some of that heritage is kind of in multiple kind of maritime museums or lighthouses. There's a lot of cool things to see, and those museums and maritime facilities are really exciting, and I'm sure you do a good job of trying to promote those places. Is there anything specific or a guide on
I would say from a maritime museum standpoint, again, if you're a Northern Bay person or a Middle Bay person and you have yet to go to the Mariners Museum in Newport News, it'll knock your socks off. I get chills thinking about it, but I actually had a chance to touch a piece of the USS Monitor, which is being reclaimed there after it was brought up by after it was a National Marine Sanctuary. It was raised, and then it was sent to the Mariners Museum in Newport News, which is a repository of a great many national maritime things. Right. Because it's a big facility. It's right on the banks of the James River, and that's just one thing that they have there. They have thousands of other artifacts that aren't like the skipjacks or the boats that you'll find in Calvert Marine Museum or Chesapeake Bay Maritime Museum. Those are 3 of the largest. So I'll talk about them for a second. There's others, many others, but the Mariners Museum is a must-see. You'd really enjoy it, Ken, because the actual America's Cup catamaran, the entire America's Cup catamaran is inside, no mast, but the hulls is inside of the facility. It's pretty amazing.
I honestly say I've been down there a number of times. I didn't even know that. So that's exciting. John, I think when people start migrating and going to other places around the bay, it challenges them, right? I mean, and that challenge for some is a completely new experience. Mm-hmm. Some are, need to touch up on their navigation. Some may need to touch up on their sailing if they're going to sail down there and provisioning a boat. Mm-hmm. So as people use their boats and go farther away, what's your best tip for how to prepare for a little longer trip?
Well, I don't mean to sound like I'm on a soapbox, but everybody needs to have one of these in their possession. Have some paper charts, because you're going to get in a situation where the GPS, your chart plotter isn't going to work, or if you're using navigation on your phone or your iPad, I use iNavix, by the way, you're going to need a paper chart.
And so what about some of the cruising guides? Is there still some?
Well, they're still around. Of course, there's a Chesapeake Bay magazine has our guide to cruising Chesapeake Bay. It went out of print, and about 2 weeks ago, we just sold our last copy. We'll have to do another one, but we produce an annual called Weekends on the Water. And Weekends on the Water, I have a copy of it right here. Weekends on the Water is basically a mini cruising guide of 5 to 7 destinations. We did one last year. We did one this year. This is available to all of our print and digital subscribers.
So this is kind of a go-to magazine for places to go to, or how to get there safely? Right.
Yep.
What exactly is it?
So instead, we do it every summer, and we produce a magazine that's dedicated just to certain destinations. Like this year, we started with Havre de Grace.
Right.
And we talked about how to get there, where to stay on your boat, where to go out to eat, where to find marine services. And we went down the bay from there all the way to Cape Charles.
Right.
And at the end of the this particular issue, Cape Charles wrapped it all up, or we did actually Hampton and Cape Charles. And if you're like most people, the vast majority of people, we go to the same places.
Right.
And because they're fun. I never get bored of St. Michael's, but it's get outside of your wheelhouse a little bit. You can find, there's other cruise guides out there, but we've got a good amount of information on it in this year's edition and last year's edition. Have some real fun places to go to.
Good, good. Well, getting out, making sure you can get there safely, taking care of your boat efficiently so that you know that you're not going to have any issues is all things that are phenomenal tips, and a lot of our boaters will really appreciate. So I think what I'd like to do is, again, thank everybody for participating in our virtual boat shows. I think we are doing everything we can to try to bring some topics to you, and hopefully you find this information helpful. Hopefully you take advantage of going to some of the websites that John, Chesapeake Bay Magazine and their newsletter. Take advantage of that. Make sure that you get on social media and like us, because you'll probably get a lot of information fed right to your phone or to your iPad that will be extremely useful. And we really thank you all for supporting us. And we're going to do everything we can to support you guys as new boaters. So thank you so much for joining us, John. I think we had some good conversation about some interesting topics, and we look forward to seeing everybody out on the water. John, is there anything you want to kind of close out with?
So as you were talking about staying updated, we have the weekly email. It's called the Bay Bulletin. Right. And I can assure you it's information you'll find no other place, but it's information about the Chesapeake tailored to boaters. And it has we cover a great many subjects. We have video, we have boating content, we have environmental content. It's free. If you go to ChesapeakeBayMagazine.com, you'll see a little subscribe button. You put your email address in, we'll send it to you every Wednesday. Sounds like a pretty good idea. It's a good tip to get out on the water. So thanks again, John, for joining us. From Birch Avens Yard here in Annapolis, Maryland, supporting the full Chesapeake Bay from the Southern Bay up to Annapolis. We thank all of our customers, and we hope you had fun, and we look forward to seeing you for the next 3 weekends here with our virtual shows on Thursday, Friday, and as well weekends of seeing some new boats here in the yard. So thanks again, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, Ken. See you, John. Thank you.